Hey algebra 1 kids, this is Dr. Callahan with Week 15 Wednesday. How are you guys doing? Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for your warm-up log. Okay, so today you guys have your assessments, and you should have 2 pages that you will need today. This is the first page, and here's the second page. So I know it looks like a lot, and there are about like maybe 40 questions or so, but I'm going to walk you guys through it so that way you have plenty of opportunities to answer them. So we're going to focus on the first left side of your paper, on this part right here. And we're going to go over a few questions together so that way you're adequately ready to answer them on your own. I think the first 8 here are fairly simple. So I'm going to start targeting the ones right over here. And you're welcome to use a calculator if you need to. So if you just plug this into your calculator, the absolute value 289 is just going to give you 17. That's your answer. And just as you know that the absolute value of 225 is the same thing as 15 times 15, which is just 15. And similarly, the question for 7 square root of 0 is just 0. So now that I went ahead and showed you how to do these 3, I want you guys to go ahead and do the remaining part of these on a separate piece of paper. So pause the video and do that. Okay, now let's take a look at questions that might be a little bit more complicated. So let's go over a few. We're going to start off with, let's do 2 right here. So with this one, you have square root of 4, which you know gives you a 2. Square root of 10, which gives you, or 100 gives you a 10. So altogether, that's going to give you a 12. Next, let's take a look at 4. With 4, square root of 49 gives you a 7. Square root of 144 gives you a 12. And if I subtract them, I get a negative 5. All right, let's shift our focus onto 5 over here on the side. 35. Notice how different this is. Now you have both numbers inside the square root. 35 minus 26 is going to give you a 9. Square root of 9 is just a 3. And then similarly, if you take a look at question number 6b, 245 minus 101 is going to give you 144, which is just going to give you 12. So now that I went ahead and went over these 4 questions, I want you guys to do the following ones that are still available. So pause the video and answer them. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the very last part. Okay, so for the last part, you can actually take a look at this on the back side of your paper. So last time I saw you guys, we talked about questions such as with square roots in the denominator. So to get rid of the square root, you will have to go ahead and multiply it, top and bottom. Square root 35 times square root of 35 is just a 35. 223 times 35 give me a square root of 7,805. So let's see if there's any way for me to go ahead to maybe reduce this. I know I can go ahead and break this down to square root of 5 and square root of 1,561. Which then I can break this part down into a square root of 7 and a square root of 223. And I think that's as far as I can go, unfortunately. So really, there's not much that I can go any further besides just 7,805. Over 35. So what you can do is you can just go ahead and put the square root of 7H05 divided by 35, which will give you 2.52. So just put it into decimals. All right, now let's take a look at 4a. For 4a, you're going to subtract 494 minus 271, which gives you square root of 223. Well, interesting enough, we had that same question from the previous example, so that's just going to give you a 14.93 in your calculator. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at 4b. For 4b, you're just going to divide it. So grab your calculator, you're going to type in the square root 470 divided by 5. And you hit enter, you should get a 9.695. And that's your answer. Now that I did these ones, I'm going to have you guys go ahead and work on the rest of the remaining questions. Okay, so last thing that I want you guys to focus on for today is going to be this form right here that talks about your plans after high school. I have the QR code on both sides, or you can type in the tiny URL. Make sure you type in your name and then just answer the following questions. For your exit ticket, you guys, you can pick any one of the following and create an example for me. All right, as always, I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys next time.